Guess what? I forgot to do an intro. Let's just roll the video. So before we start on these baffles either side, it's really all that's about is the air that comes in the front of the car here. We just want to stop it spilling out there. It just needs to go through that. So I want to tidy up a few things. I've been dreaming up ideas to actually remake this from 2mm. But I can easily fold this up, make this one piece with that. It doesn't actually need a bottom on it. Really, it can just start here, fold there, go up here, cross there, down, back, down. It goes down and back because we can put the holes for the radiator mounts in it, and then down just to give it a bit of strength. And it could be, it's not a U section, it's a bloody whatever that shape there is, it's that section. And that would be sufficient for what it's doing. Remembering, of course, we're only bolting to tin foil. That would do. But I've said earlier, I want to try and keep some of the original parts of the car, and these things have been here since the car was made. So I'm sure there's weight to come out of this. Yep, feels heavy enough. Should we set a target weight? What are we going to take out of it? I'm thinking 100 grams sounds good, but I don't even know what it weighs. There might be nothing left of it by the time we take 100 grams out of it. Oh, yep, we can get 100 out of that, I'd say. That's a hefty bit of gear for what it does. That's 2 cans of Coke, nearly. Just to hold up the bottom of the splitter. Holy many incarnations, Batman. That's okay. It's okay. We can fix these extra holes. Eventually this thing will get to the point where it's just so chopped and changed that I'll go, okay, right, now it's time to make it from scratch as the best we can come up with at that point in time. Fair bit of material gone from this. You saw the holes were repositioned. I don't know what that weighs, but it's not there anymore. I don't know what these end pieces weigh, but they're not there anymore. I don't know why they're on my bench, making my bench messier, but whatever. Plus the screw that we won't have in the end, each end. Plus there's actually less screws along here than what there were, I think. No, recant that. There's probably the same amount of screws. Yeah, there's some extra holes and stuff, and like I say, it does look a little bit prototypish, a little bit fiddled with, but you get that. Like I say, we'll get, at some point, we'll see how much time we have. It may not even go out on the track in that state. It might get to the point where there's a new version of that made. It doesn't even have, what's this? It's not 2, that's probably 1.6 at a guess, which is about right for what it's doing. If you went 1.2, it would be too thin, and 2mm, a bit excessive. Could put speed holes in it all the way along here, and then just put a layer of race tape. Damn it, I want to do that now. No, too far, getting carried away. Some holes in here, definitely. We don't need all this material along here. It's good, but it doesn't need all of it, so we'll weigh it in a second. What? No, I'm not. I'm not crazy. No! I did drill the holes, and then I looked at it and went, this little bit that's left hanging out here was actually doing not much anyway. So it feels lighter. The moment of truth. What did I say I wanted? 100 grams out of it. And we were at 600. Doubled that. Well, not quite doubled. A couple 100 grams out of that. Good. Not quite a can of Coke. Maybe about what's in my, probably more than my bottle of V that's there. You know, depends if you're hydrated on that. I can have that much V. Take that much in a bottle with me now in the race car, and still be the same weight as we would have been before. It only took an hour. Dollars per gram, we're not doing terribly well, but That's okay. And this is definitely a prototype piece now. There's a couple of things I can't put material back very easily. Like, you can weld this, sure, but it's never going to look right. Apart from that, it's actually not bad. There's a tiny little wee hole at the end there that no one's going to see or notice. Right, okay, attack something else. Right, to sort these baffles, I kind of need the bumper on. Really, I need to figure out what I'm doing with this, because that probably isn't staying like that. It's probably going to get narrowed up, so maybe this radius here is over here or something. Doesn't matter if we shield a tiny little bit of that corner. Maybe bring it up a little bit steeper, and then we don't have this gaping hole that's just getting air going in there for nothing, and causing drag. Not that this thing does 600 million miles an hour. It does do 250k an hour, so drag is something to consider. If we have, you imagine that's flat from there to there, we get much better airflow around all that direction. So anyway, there is a baffle that was made up that was in there. You can see that there. It's carbon fibre and aluminium stuck together. It wasn't done in a very good way. It wasn't done very nicely, because it was done while the car was kind of together and in a bit of a rush, and didn't want to take the whole front end to pieces to try and make something up to go in there. But what we can do now, excuse the noise, sure that was grinding on some people's ears. Instead of carrying all this around with us, we can actually shift this baffle that way a little bit and make a smaller fold that goes onto the edge of here, and we'll do away with, let's say, 100 grams, 80 grams, something like that, a little bit lighter, and it'll seal it up a little bit better too, because this didn't go all the way to the bottom down here, and I had to make a concoction to come around here and seal this off and seal off this other end that was hanging out here and everything. So we can do that a lot nicer. As long as we retain this actual panel line here on the bumper, it won't matter what we do with the rest of this as far as changing the shape of it. This baffle thing here will still do exactly what it needs to do. Be lucky to get 100 out of that, wouldn't we? I don't think that's possible. Let's see. The mint chicks. I may be crazy, but I'm not dumb. Subtly playing in the background there. Pretty appropriate, isn't it? What's that, 142? Where were we? 234. Not bad. Not bad, 90 something grams, 90 grams thereabouts. A couple of, I've added a bit on here. It's a different bit to what we had originally. That piece didn't have anything to secure the top of it, so by putting that on there, we can secure all this to the chassis and this here to stop the whole thing blowing like that when we're doing 50 million kilometers an hour. Could bond the carbon fiber to here. Not going to. All prototype sort of stuff at the moment. When we get it all figured out 100%, that's probably just going to be one piece of carbon fiber, which is going to be a nuisance to make, but be worthwhile in the end. Did it get lighter? Oh, it got heavier. Oh no. Yep, there we go. So I did start on this. I measured some things up. I made some marks. I started to try and form a piece of aluminium to go in here, and it started fighting. And it started fighting quite seriously. And I thought, well, you can just get stuffed. I'll do something else instead. So I've attacked the front guards. You'll see there's no fake carbon fibre on them anymore. A few people actually have been fooled and thought it was genuine carbon fibre, but obviously they didn't look too hard because it tends to lift when you don't have the right surface or the right application. It's real cheap, nasty stuff. I won't tell you where it came from. It's not come from Repco. The front guard's never really been happy with this. Bit of a tricky one to try and figure out how to make it all flow and work and everything. Nobody's done a... How much wider is that? 125 mils? Let's have a look. Oh, the ruler's upside down. That's unfortunate. Oh, it's heaps more than that. 160 from that point. I guess the car comes out to here somewhere. So yeah, it's probably 125 mils wider. So the car's 250 mils wider than it's supposed to be. You can't just go online and buy a kit for a K12 March to make it 250 mils wider. So this is originally, this is like the first version of March 2. This piece here continued all the way up. If you look online, you'll find photos, magazine articles, etc. That continued all the way through. Later on, I was like, it's bad for airflow. It's yucky. I don't like it. And I chopped this piece out. Did that to tidy up the airflow and everything, make it more streamlined, go faster. And I left this bit on the bottom, which is odd, people will say, and it's a fair comment. We had our good sponsors, Nexon, up there. You can see Nexon in the top corner. Had their logo here and on the side. I kind of wanted to leave those there. And I had a splitter all made up for it and everything, and I didn't want to chop this section away and then have the splitter exposed. I think it was white at that point, white on top, black underneath, with fake carbon fibre on top of it like this, and it will look terrible. It was one of those, not enough time really to get the job done properly, but enough time to do a bit of a quick job and see how it looks and see whether I like it or not, leave it for a bit of time and see how we go. Since then we've actually gone to the 275s on the front, so this is why I put these on here, just to make sure it complies with Schedule A and nobody gets stroppy about it and says, oh, your tyres are hanging out, so no good. Anyway, to the other side, out with the angle grinder. And obviously we're not just going to have a couple of magnets holding that on when it's in the car. But that's, I mean, that's the easy, the go-to, the not thinking hard, that's what you would do approach to it. So it'll be something like that. Obviously that's not welded in there. It was interesting, as soon as there was no signs of any problems here, but as soon as I cut this piece off in the bottom corner here, that weld just went all the way up there. Way up there, it just let go. So I'd only welded it from the outside, and then I'd buffed it all back. Very bad job, if I'm honest. Buffed it all back to make a nice radiused corner. And obviously I buffed away too much. It was only just holding together, and as soon as I took away the support down the bottom here, it just let go. That's fine. And now I can attack the outside of it and get a good radius going on. Make it all beautiful. These top guards, they're not done like that. They are actually formed properly. That is a folded piece of aluminium. See, it's one piece. There's no welding or yuckiness in here. There's some tape to stop the fake carbon fibre falling off. But that's been folded, and then I've put that in the stretcher shrinker. That's set up for shrinking at the moment actually, and actually shortened up this whole edge to get this radius going on to shape the guards to fit the car. So, and same with the back ones. That whole curve, that's one piece. It's not two pieces of aluminium stuck together. That might actually be disappearing. Might be changing those too later, maybe. So, next challenge, which is not going to be easy at all, is to try and weld this onto here and have it nice and flush so it doesn't look like I've stuck two bits of metal together. There we go. Let me know what you think. Bit of a late one. My clock lies. It's actually 6:10. You're a liar. So you can tell it's 6:10 because it's getting dark. That came out okay. There's a bit more to go. It's 6:10. I have to apologise to my neighbour Wayne, who actually watches our videos. G'day Wayne. Hope things are good. Might get a little bit quieter this week. Won't be working on this piece. We're doing other things. So there we go. Could do with a bit of a tidy up. In fact, I could do with a bit of, get some new material and you could, a clever person, I'm not saying I am, could do this in one piece, not necessarily with this panel line here. You could actually roll that as one nice smooth curve, although to be honest I quite like the panel line being there, not this one. Hopefully this disappears. It's pretty smooth. I can just sort of feel a little bit of a bump there. It's not terrible. We certainly, if we pulled a mold off that to do that in genuine carbon fibre, that's probably close enough for a starting point to tidy it up from there. Or you could run over with spray putty and filler and get that bang on and go from there. Actually, that makes that look less out of place. It sort of looks worse with this here than what it does without it. So you never know, I might decide to leave that alone and go back to that original plan and make some carbon fibre inserts that just sit in here and fill in the hole, and don't try and hide, just make it obvious that they're an insert. You could almost do the same with the grill actually, for the lack of use that it has. You know, it's only directing air here. You could do a carbon fibre grill insert with just a nostril on each side. Actually, that'd look pretty good, wouldn't it? Put a spotlight in here, a fake spotlight, just a sticker, printed sticker. Stop talking, go inside, Glenn. Alright, cheers boy.